Hello, people of Connecticut, Hartford, Connecticut, Weathersfield, Connecticut, New Britain, Connecticut, Rocky Hill, Connecticut, East Hartford. Um, all the intercampuses of each age. There's a campus on Franklin Avenue involved. See, we have police forms from off campuses involved with all kinds of natures of crimes, all various natures of courts and their family members involved from my town near the Samuel Dix house. A whole bunch of people there involved, a whole bunch of natures of federal crimes, crime methods also needing to be demonstrated, recorded. Actually, there's a Leahy family. 3 times I was forced into a triage for mental evaluation to prevent me from calm speech and from calm means to counter people involved with proven sins and further recorded and confessed child offenders of all kinds of natures, even sexual and even medical and even judicial, with various natures of courts. One way reports. Connecticut District Court involved, whole bunch of people involved with Connecticut courts, like superior courts, their buildings used on and off their campus, intercampuses, their crime rules with pretending things into investigations with investigators already offensively to hide their lie progressions. They're pretending to perceive things that, and they're having that acted facilitated because they're distinctly and non-distinctly by the same overt, their recorded pattern of crimes with overt criminal enterprises, criminal uses of witness protection program directly and indirectly recorded criminal use by former director of the FBI down, associated with people that associated with my grammar school and with my middle school and with my high school involved with sequence shifts with them, attaching me and other kids to fake locations, fake words, fake sequences. These are all kinds of tricks they do through kids with their own recording and using confessions too, because they're making people do, do things using quote the right to lie unquote. They also use that to keep the parties fighting as criminally foreign influenced victim predators. Forgiveness is for this organized crime method that American history and modern nations' histories and semi ancient history since before modern religions not let equality of free speech stewardships over the religions. And so they're in a way to demonstrate everyone's defending them out of sequence, not valuing their free speech to value the first part of the sequence about the science of the organized crime that the beginning of the Quran is about. Simultaneously, with not letting what the Old Testament beginning of it is about with science regarding the history of English, actually regarding the history of. See, when they say when they make dictators there, or Napoleon. Napoleon wanted to unite France and Spain. We'll examine this, for example, because everyone was trying to counter how nations, modern nations, were realized, forced grouped, forced individual grouped, and all together. You can't defend positive treatments like that with the science, in fact, human nature, and not value the real causes of negative value nature progressions, acts, and natures like predicate acts, natures like wrongdoers, like mass wrongdoing, uh, loving natures, self defeat. Modern nations stay defeated. Our American history stays told through criminal nature. I'm not a lawyer, not police form, not criminal. Wants to keep it that way. They're trying to set people up. I mean, they're not trying to. They already did. They already have all kinds of. They use crime methods. I was there for 3 days the first time. I had no conversations with doctors. Not at all. There's a Leahy family involved with all kinds of medical corruption, what they call the intelligence community, especially with the women involved, women judges, and even black and white, per what former refers to it as pigment. Because they worse than had criminal incompetence with regards to how to answer questions regarding that nature of method of organized crime that was a whole bunch of them bonded. and what motivated Rolls to that, which is inseparable from the laws against everyone's free speech, from these torture methods. Everyone fighting to be with at the same time this is not about this is about actual sequence. This is a database crime with when I was a kid that is relevant now because these are people interbranch spreading lies about me because they locked themselves painted into corners from the former the director of the FBI, from the police chief down, retired and standing with them, associated a whole bunch of people associated with this Dillon family, with my new and past neighbors, crime acts at each of the campuses I went to. Now they have a problem too because they have Social Security doctors that forge names, put me on Social Security, faking it, faking conversations with me, forging names, switching names, crime acts roles, on offload their locations, people associated with Lena's Pizza, all kinds of crimes with judges, sequence shifts, acting tied to that, to pretending issues are they're hiding their all these confessions that and requests to have help for it that they lied about in the background. But then they're lying about, in other words, these are bad branches of government. These are people involved leading up to the Trade Center attack in it and since, and with the investigators of it involved crimes with them, and with the through time with databases, not just intercampuses, with houses on and off the state judicial branch offices, with houses on and off the state prison offices, also involved with the recorded actually federal crimes with databases at the schools I went with, also as men and women who are now involved with child crimes with other kids based on their crime acts roles with databases, with sequence shifts, like with a John Miano, who I never met until I stayed back. I knew his name because it was repeated to me. I knew the name of Joshua Julian because it was repeated to me by the people involved with their extended family member, recorded and confessed, like a Scalora family, like a Phil Colo, involved with the same campus, involved with a whole bunch of people involved with various natures of the departments at CCSU, with a whole bunch of natures of crimes, with databases, crime acts roles with judges, with their police forms, with prosecutors and their families, a whole bunch of people intermilitary associated with a Pandolf family and a Yagman family and other houses around them involve various natures of courts, prison. There's people involved with the child sex offenders, with town offices further, with associated with one of the Smith families, associated with Leahy family, other judge, Judge Killian, criminal with them. I tried to explain about how they attached me to recorded fake conversations about my father's cases with this Leahy family to a guy who was black sky. I felt comfortable. He was in a group, and I also noticed the kid. I didn't know that. I never mentioned it to him. I had no communications with him. The kid next to me, I noted. I remembered him, but he's associated with the town offices, with the mother of one of the people on the sex offender registry, tied to the principal sex offender group, with fire departments, other campuses, cliques, whole bunch of people on off Fox Connecticut News, like with domains, men and women police forms, like with associated with them, whole bunch of houses on off Two Rod Highway, on off Hangdog Lane, associated with the crimes with the campuses, sequence shifts, confessions to me from strangers that then they exploit. For example, so that I tried to explain to this guy, and the kid next to me freaked out. And I was in a forced presence, wasn't allowed a lawyer. This is the second or third time I was there. 3 times they did this because my new and past neighbors I caught involved with child offenders, a whole bunch of untimely death clicks and confessions that brought that up on and off Trinity College. Other natures of crimes, all juxtaposed. I'm supposed to go around quoting crimes. They need to pick one name in sequence. They have a whole bunch of women named Alicia, kids with the same name when they were kids, involved with New York, Washington D.C. Trade Center, foreign families, involved a whole bunch of ways: recorded, confessed, demonstrate how maintain criminally foreign influence roles with sustained on off campuses, shared policing of everything, shared watching each other where they have no integrity. And that's maintained. That's really what's behind all the shootings and terrorism that's thematically tied. See how they have the yellow jackets? And it's like a little theme. It's real victims everywhere, but everyone's branding the wrong thing. Only everyone's maintained per what is sickly, non-distinctly. All modern nations are a victim to it, self-valuing it though, so you can't counter it. Self-valuing only having been the real blamed the real causes of negative value nature progressions, acts, and natures on other things other than self. See this people stacking in New York City, unfathomable to claim that there's freedom or equality. Even to entertain quality, well, separating that fake care against it. This is polarity to keep each fact, cheaping nature, value, forced, defended, abridged nature of positive. So positive never has its course, identities. Each identity of value. This is science actual. This is math. This is math, you don't capitalize it. English, you capitalize it. Law, you don't capitalize it. English, you capitalize it. You have to put the value back in the capital R of a republic, which is manifest value revealed, not invented, revealed by the nature of sciences that haven't been around with that integrity of quality of fact, keeping nature, using the nature of volume we are. It's science. These markets positions each modern nation is in, they're tactically ulterior. And that's forced by each modern nation rolls with it. Then what do they have to do? Self-value only realize the real cause of the elites. Can't this is a juxtaposed. Can't give up each other's positions. They're in here shared. Can't talk about what's elite and defend the whole name at the same time. So they talk about what is elite fake. Talk about what is bees, what are bees, what is the environment without having nature understood. This is worse than obfuscated nature, identity's actual course. One free camp, one integrity of science, really true always, using exception nature the way it was revealed to be used. It admits the recorded identity of the ground relationship to quality of fact, cheaping nature, only criminally foreign influenced formal positive natures that are suitable criminal diseases natures, sick natures with physical delusions, reliant upon the perfect world, recorded, confessed, and demonstrated, involved with the child abuse of lifting of each age of branches, individually grouped and together, sick, originally and still. That's how you tell American history. That's recorded truth always. See, they're using passions, all emotions, dishonestly with criminal foreign influence and delusions. So I tried to tell this guy about, because this Leahy family with whole people from the former director of the FBI down, federal criminals, and with their family members, and with the news, has all kind of federal evidence crimes with them, leading up to and in cases, leading up to and in depositions, including one where they made criminal uses of the court, offering my father to hold it there because former director of the FBI was the defendant, with the co-defendants, one with the daughter in my campus, one our kid who lived in Newington but went to my school, involved with people, involved with a child campus near me that I went to when I was a kid, like a mile from me. In there is with the principal child defense school, but there was a principal that was there when I was there that was involved with people with the educational department and CCSU with all kinds of foreign and domestic military and police forms of interbranch, and family members of theirs recorded, confessed, and demonstrated involved with all natures of crimes, sequence shifting, For example, tied to this guy, I was trying to to, to talk about the people that are not letting me free speech, forged names, switching names, mail crime rolls, attach me to fake conversations about my family, fake conversations about police equipment, fake conversations about agencies. They also had those people pretend conversations with me in the locations online using Facebook to pretend delusions, to pretend to receive things. They also use that for sex crime acts, pretend to investigate things with the people that are furthering force sustained abuses of each age of fact treatment nature, interbranch cliques with all kinds of crimes with overt criminal enterprises that, exploiting criminal uses of how they're allowed per statutes to lie about their undercover positions with them, but they're hiding how their federal crimes with them in cases with offensive evidence perception tricks. Like then this kid tried to attack me. I don't know his name, but he's recorded and confessed and demonstrated tied to the town offices in the child sex offenders roles and family members with that. Even inspectors associated with fire departments with their placements with the high with the town parks too. Offensive evidence perception crimes, pretending to perceive things because they're hiding lie progressions. Because these are people that were involved with criminally foreign influence database crimes when they were kids. Our stewards now undercover and stuff like that. They're real sick souls. Now, these are crimes with various natures of courts and judges and police forms and their family members all have facilitated to it from off the ground of education on and off campuses and layers. I never had a conversation with the two um, Olsen brothers. There are a whole bunch of police forms in state police and former FBI, CIA families and judges cliques, drug cliques and stuff like that involve a whole bunch of nature of federal crimes with each age of fact treatment nature on off the locations at the end of the Brown Turnpike. Identity theft cliques, crime act rolls, fake conversations with me. Whole bunch of people tied to the name um, Soto. I never had a conversation with the Sotos, never met them. There's a Delafair family, a whole bunch of judges with retired and standing involved with all kinds of natures of crimes with kids. Intermilitary, inter campuses like medical and fire, training of them, locations of houses off there, people associated with conversations with that. There are people associated with CCSU, recorded, confessed, demonstrated involved WWE, all that stuff like that. I don't want problems, you guys. I'm sure you guys can slam me with the big guy down the street, whatever. But that's involved. They're tucking something in there that's involved with the child abuses of girls sexually in other ways. Is recorded, involved with how they're hiding their life progressions now by using sensibilities about people they're pretending they want privacy. I never had a conversation with the modern pastry family. He had this conversation with me in front of me one time with a Ray Colo, the brother of one of them. See, they're making me fight with people. I don't want to fight with people. They're making no. Those are people that are involved with narratives with interbranch, even women judges, crimes with KKK, Confederate flag, through time, black and white, involved with them with that. Also with database crimes, sequence shifting, also crimes with violence and with fake care and with identity thefts, with judges retired and standing, attaching kids to fake locations, fake ties to sick people. Now there's then after that with the judges, there's some in other words. That person tried to attack me. Then there was a guy who pretended the words of that person onto me, pretending I was the one who had violence. So these are people preventing people. We have to teach our boys how to have violence, to counter violence. We have fake military, criminally foreign influenced. identity theft acts roles. So they have to pretend hate, they have to pretend passions, emotions out of sequence because they have to hide how they already were invested to illusions that they had to self value with their fact treatment nature roles, with their value in their conversations with people. They, who's not who you know, get down. You see what I'm saying? Is to get off my name. All these boyfriends of the Spider family with the FBI involved. How long are they going to stay recorded in our face? Interbranch, criminally foreign influence, sick, on off their locations. Of course, there are going to be streams of courts going to prison every day. Of course, they're preventing people from free speech, from calm means to counter all kinds of sick natures of medical corruption, avert criminal enterprises, all kinds of shared policing of crime acts rolls with it, private, on off, especially with triage places, really criminally used. Whole bunch of medical media, fake news, crime acts, and nature's actually recorded. No criminal insidiousness nature. I'm not a lawyer, but this is recorded from former director of the FBI down. Whole bunch of people associated with with this Leahy family, with CIA families, fake conversations with me on and off the two route highway. Associated, a whole bunch of confessions associated with people with this Fianza family, a Dillon family, Mendez police, and they all recorded, confessed, and demonstrated like a South Saviello and how their houses in the area, a big Victorian house associated with further with a Phil Clow, recorded, confessed, and demonstrated by a Bob Chase and by doctors, foreign and domestic, involved with drug crimes, formal and informal, with kids, criminally foreign influence natures and crime method roles recorded, and physical delusions as doctors of psychology and as ones with badges associated with judges, crime acts, methods, roles with these sex offenders clicks further on off the town offices, with on off election spots clicks already having criminally used. There are proofs that they had they have offensive evidence for crimes and reception crimes associated with the media, with the narratives with my name, because they're also WFSB recorded, confessed, and demonstrated identity theft crime acts, fake conversations with me, whole bunch of natures of crime acts and illusions used to hide the life progressions of people that were painted into fake conversations, fake locations with me when I was a kid, as people that I only know in conversations where they through others with confessions from the only context I know them in. They tried to pretend other because this is how they're using exploiting database relationships. Well, how far are you going to go after campus? Where are you going to go after this class? Where are you going to walk to? What these people are going to be perceiving without being speaking because they're using the drugs for this. Interbranch drug clicks, intermilitary. Whole bunch of people have recorded, confessed, and demonstrated involved with that area on off two route highway. Maria Fazino, Brian Bonin. People, those are people all involved with sequence shifts. I never knew who Maria Vizina was when she went to my school. She also recorded, confessed, and demonstrated involved with Violet brothers and family, involved with illusion stacking, evidence crime rolls with drug clicks, and the people, a whole bunch of people made confessions, demonstration about various natures of courts of kid with associated with the kids and with the prison clicks. People that work with the kids after they get in trouble, they're keeping bad things. They're keeping only sick. There are a whole bunch of people associated with downtown Hartford with a pattern of identity theft, crime actuals, fake conversations with me that never were, fake location relationships, like a Casper family, further confessed and recorded with the Dr. Dingleberry, Dr. Dewberry, forging names, switching and threatened to tie me down and have someone stab me with a pen if I don't sign a thing. And that was after. In other words, he pretended I was the guy who there was the kid who flipped out on me, tied to the sex offenders that they recorded using triage places to prevent people from countering calmly their crime acts roles with kids, with my neighbors. Their uses of their own kids with the sick fake punks, foreign and domestic, interbranch with this. Forging names, switching names. You go in the court, they make confessions. Then they use the time to attach you to fake recorded things in the databases. All kinds of recorded, confessed, and demonstrated federal crime, falsified police reports. Put fake things in databases through time, attaching little girls to fake locations, fake relationship to sick punk sexual circles. All kinds of, they use that too. Just they all of a sudden they make themselves, they made people do things and say things to make themselves look like creeps because they know that these people are going to observe these people from these, because they're keeping everyone formal, perceiving illusions tied to what keeps criminally foreign influence states, areas, campuses. We have the former, it's not his motivation, but they're indifferent to it and worse than it. I never met him, but this is recorded, confessed, and demonstrated. His crime acts roles, former Governor Malloy, associated with town meetings, and mayors retired and standing, involved with the child sex offenders, medical offenders, and judicial. We're attaching them to fake locations. These crime acts, roles, and methods on and off campuses, forging names, switching names, having people fight, and then switching who did what and said what, and making people. I never had any reaction. Kid said he was going to fight me. I was waiting for the act. I had no reaction. Now these people, the whole bunch of people with this Leahy family and with a Yagman family and a Pandolf family with intercities. A whole bunch of doctors and science people with my name in their minds through other people on and off CCSU, federal crimes. A whole bunch of people associated with intercities, Glastonbury. A whole bunch of people involved with federal crimes with this trade center cliques. How they keep them involved with wire crimes, mail crimes before they're adults, involved identity thefts, sequence shifts. See that sick funk, but we need a response too, because they're forging names and switching names. They're preventing calm speech. They're preventing people from any type of speech. They're lying about our behavior every time we go in courts. That's recorded, confessed, and demonstrated. They're recorded pretending other from the rear after they already forged names, switched names, prevent any writing since I was a kid. They put charges in there criminally, forging names, switching names, course little kids since I was a kid to roles to hide their life progressions. A whole bunch of people tied to a Dillon family, my new and past neighbors, a whole bunch of foreign and domestic overt criminal enterprises, criminal uses of witness protection program associated with the area, and the time impositions of the whole bunch of people with my name stacked. Now you better give me a response, and you better be honest about my behavior, because you can't be honest about my behavior here. No one formal. So I want the people to see this. You learn what is true always, what is exception. We will know. They've been lying about what does the law say, because they've been leaving out their exceptions, their perjury racket rules. All rise. We're going to have citizens arrest here. They don't want to admit their mistakes. They want to keep sustained, pretending the crime method of pretending they value people because they're jobs that are with criminal justice. All the fake sick punks, intercities from on and off the state judicial branch offices, on and off locations like Wethersfield Pizza, involved with a whole bunch of names with CCSU, interbranch, on and off the state prison offices, with sequence of database crimes, with each of the campuses I went to, each age, with this Durham family, with police foreign and domestic, tied to my area, and with the witness protection program. Again, we're going to need people. See, they're pretending they want privacy and stuff like that because they're using people, a whole bunch of people tied with a Grisey family, further on off the middle school, further on off the high school, further on off the child campuses, with the crime methods recorded, with the crime natures recorded. They're recorded, confessed, and demonstrated, pretending they have integrity as titles and family members' roles with military, with the Coast Guard. These are involved with child offenders, with crimes with other nations' police forms. A whole bunch of people associated with the foreign Taekwondo place next to where the police chief office is now. That are further crimes on and off where the police officers in town were before. Further involved. Judges, Middletown, medical families involved with Middletown, all kinds of ways. Crimes with forensics clicks through the transition from Alca to Rico. For the transition from no FBI in the back of their thing to it put on there. These are people involved, crimes with overt criminal enterprise, Los Solitos, whole bunch of people associated with different Italian overt criminal enterprises, recorded, confessed, and demonstrated crime rolls in my area. Fake signs on and off job locations, on and off locations. Fake crime rolls because they were putting originally still they were doing what they were made to do. Blame groups when they have to blame predicate acts. They have to react to them, not knowing how. Originally still. Then that has to defend that. Then it values things like racism, pretended the cause of the forsaken, criminal uses of fake sides, capitalism, communism, socialism, recorded here and there, criminally foreign influence zoning laws, crime rolls and physical delusions, intersciences with psychology, whole bunch of things that they attribute to things they fake things with areas. They have a whole bunch of people tied with the Samuel Dix house involved further crimes with judges and their family members, with this federal crimes with Trade Center Predicate Act clicks, with this Dillon family, a whole bunch of people with Hartford Hospital, with this Leahy family, with the Lombardo family. She attached me to pretended yelling too. What's her son's name? What are those people's names with the Lombardos attached to this Colodo? And his cousins. Well, go ahead and confess further involved campuses, child policing. Ew. Get them to one name and sequence into branch. No!